Here we are in beautiful Memphis, Tennessee for the 2006 Choice Hotels US Open Racquetball Championships. Hi everyone, I'm Sean Royster alongside my partner here and former top 5 pro Aaron Katz. Aaron, the most prestigious racquetball tournament in history, the US Open. The players are fired up for this tournament.
Hey, this is the granddaddy of them all. It's the biggest tournament. It's the most money, and they all know if you want to lay claim to greatness in pro racquetball, it goes through Memphis, Tennessee.
So we've talked about the champions in this tournament. Let's start with our current #1 ranked player in the world, Jack Huczek.
Hey, he's the dominant player this season, but the question that's running through a lot of the minds of the people in the crowd, is there an asterisk next to that dominant #1? Jack's a great player, 3-time #2 player in the world, but the player who's defeated him for #1 in each of those seasons, Kane Waslinchuk, serving a 2-year suspension for a positive drug test.
So as we've mentioned, you can't take away from the success that Jack has had this season. He hasn't lost a match. He's got the #1 ranking, but would he have that, have Kane still been here and playing full seasons?
You don't know, and all Jack can do, as he's done, is beat the players who are put in front of him. Clearly, Kane has dominated Jack for the last 3 years and has beaten him in every big match. 2 of the last 3 years, the #1 player has gone down to the final match of the season between Kane and Jack, and Kane has defeated him both times.
Well, let's go right into Jack's draw and who he had to deal with to get to this match today.
Jack has had a pretty easy time getting here. He played a tough Canadian, Chris Odegaard, in the round of 32 and dispatched him relatively easily, and then played the fan favorite Ruben Gonzalez, 1988. Yes, that's an 88, #1 player in the world, still playing the Pro Tour, still out here competing with the second tier of pro players, Sean. Really no match for Jack. The crowd loved it, but Jack got rid of Ruben in 3 pretty quick games.
Now, Jack's opponent today, again, an up-and-comer of the sport, an up-and-comer in the Pro Tour, but Mitch Williams, man, he thunders the ball. What a hard-hitting racquetball player.
Yeah, Mitch, who they call Wild Thing, as we'll see why today, he just hits bombs out there. Lefty player, shoots it from everywhere. He had a very tough time. Very impressive route to the quarterfinals. Beat former Canadian champ Mike Green and former US Open semifinalist, and then beat a very tough seasoned pro player, Chris Carruthers, to get to the quarterfinals. So it's going to be very interesting to see Mitch, bit of a tour journeyman, been out there a while, been to a few quarterfinals. No better place for Mitch to really make a name for himself than against the #1 player in the world, Jack Huczek.
So if you're just joining us here on the Tennis Channel and you've never seen pro racquetball before, you are in for a treat. You're about to see the best and most fit racquetball player in the world in Jack Huczek, and one of the hardest hitting players out there, Mitch Williams, will hit the ball near 200 miles an hour. When we get back here, an exciting quarterfinal match here at the 2006 Choice Hotels US Open Racquetball Championships. We'll be right back. The Choice Hotels US Open Racquetball Championships is brought to you by Choice Hotels International, family of hotel brands with over 5,000 locations and 8 different brands worldwide, offering every type of accommodation in every price range. We meet all your travel needs. For reservations, visit us at choicehotels.com today. Choice Hotels. We'll see you there. And by Wilson Art Flooring. If it's tough enough for pro racquetball, it's tough enough for your home. Enjoy the beauty and durability of Wilson Art Flooring. Available at fine floor covering centers everywhere. Also, Nuveen Investments, dedicated to helping you reach your goals in life. Ask your financial advisor today how Nuveen's growing range of equity and fixed income products can help you support your long-term plans.
And by USA Racquetball, your link to the greatest game on earth. To learn more about how racquetball can improve your quality of life, visit usaracquetball.com for all the details.
It was almost 50 years ago when Danny Thomas had a dream of creating a unique research hospital devoted to curing catastrophic diseases in children. More than just a treatment facility, this would be a research center for children from all parts of the world. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital has always played a big part in the sport of racquetball. Every year since the US Open began here in Memphis, the players take time out to go over and visit these children. Choice Hotels US Open Racquetball Championships has donated now over $100,000 to St. Jude's. This helps in advancing the research and treatment for these brave children. Not only is this great for the kids to meet these professional athletes, but it's also a reminder to the players and all of us, truly, what real strength and courage is all about.
US Open, the biggest tournament of the year. I have yet to make the finals here, so I have a little extra incentive than other events this season, so I've been really training hard and preparing a little differently this year than I have in years past, and tried to get off to a strong start at the beginning of the season in hopes to do well at the US Open. So far, I feel great and feel like I'm playing good ball and like my chances. Well, Mitch is a young guy. He's been really working hard on his game. You can tell that, you know, season by season, his game's gotten stronger and he's gotten better. And, you know, he's a lefty, which is always a good asset here on the portable court in Memphis. But I feel that if I just go out there and play real solid racquetball, I don't make too many mistakes, and stick to my game plan, that you know, I should have good results.
Wow. Jack's style and my game style are completely different. Jack's more of the counter puncher. I'm more of the aggressor. Jack sits back there and is very defensive sometimes. Can attack also as well. But he really is fit as a fitness guy. He's trained hard and he gets a lot of balls, puts a lot of pressure on you to hit the extra ball all the time because of his squash background, and he's also a good squash player. What I would need to do personally to be successful today is A, be consistent, and B, hit very good drive serves, and just put the pressure on him and make him be the one that's retrieving balls instead of myself. So going into the match against Zach, I'm going to kick his ass.
Welcome to Memphis, the men's pro quarterfinals. An exciting matchup. One of the hardest hitting racquetball players ever, Mitch Williams. Currently ranked number 8 in the world from Colorado, wearing the white. Mitch definitely has a chance to do well against Jack Huczek, who he's played many, many times. However, Jack Huczek, currently ranked number 1, has not lost a match this season.
Yeah, Sean, I'm going to ask you again. We had this conversation last week when Andy played Rocky. Do you believe he's got a chance against Jack?
I believe he's got a chance. He's got more confidence, I would say, than Andy did, and especially in that match against Rocky. And, you know, Mitch has been in some big matches, I think more than Andy has. And he's got, frankly, some more weapons that we didn't see as well. So here we are, first game, 0-0. That's a great shot.
Good start for Mitch. And I agree with you, Sean. He's got a few more weapons. He's never been to the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open before, but he has been to several pro quarterfinals, so he's familiar with the terrain, and he does have a big, big serve and a big forehand.
Hold it. 1-7-0.
Just a safety hinder there.
Yeah, I think that was a friendly call by the referee. I thought
very
that could
close.
have easily been unavoidable. That was a forehand setup. Again, I think a more experienced pro than Mitch may have been able to talk the referee into giving him that call.
0-7-1.
And if you're just joining us and watching racquetball for the first time, an avoidable hinder, Aaron, if you could define that for the viewers.
A hinder is when somebody prevents somebody from either getting a clean shot or getting to the ball. An avoidable hinder is when that hinder takes away an offensive opportunity from the player who is going to strike the ball. Good get by Mitch.
Point. 1-7-1.
And I like the way Mitch has come out here. Very aggressive, free swinging, really looks relaxed and playing his game.
All tied up here. One serves one.
Not a very good ceiling ball there.
Skip. 2-7-1.
Yeah, and this is a tall order for Mitch. You know, granted, he's been to quarters, but this is the quarters of the U.S. Open. A little different environment. He's playing Jack Huczek, not only the #1 player this year, but the dominant #1 player. There's been 4 tournaments coming into the U.S. Open, and Jack has won every one.
Hold it. 2 bounces. 1-7-2.
This is one of those situations where Mitch just has to play lights out, flawless racquetball. And Jack has to be just a smidge off of his game in order to make it happen. If they're both playing lights out, both playing at their best, Jack wins.
Point.
But I mean,
2-7-2.
right now, if you ask me, Jack is definitely the kind of player that kind of plays against. He plays against whoever he's playing with, and he kind of raises his level or sometimes lowers his level, and he can definitely be taken off of his routine.
3-7-2.
Jack certainly has some ghosts and goblins in the closet here at the U.S. Open. He has never won the tournament, never advanced past the semis, and the last 2 years, as the clear #2 player to Kane Wozlenchuk, came in as a heavy favorite in the semifinals against Cliff Swain and lost both times. So he has struggled here at the Open. I don't want to take the analogies too far, but Mitch is a hard-hitting lefty like Cliff Swain. Again, I don't want to compare Mitch Williams to Cliff Swain just yet, but I give Mitch a shot if he stays aggressive, hangs in there to get into this match. Great get.
Set out. 3-7-2.
And Jack is incredibly fit, has unbelievable movement, and I think he's actually improved both of those areas because he's been playing so much squash.
Hold it, replay it. I called just a replay there, Jack. 3-7-2.
There's an example where Jack thought there was an avoidable hinder where his offensive opportunity was taken away from him. Tough to disagree with that, Aaron?
Yeah, well, you know, the only reason I think I agree with Jason's call is that Jack's racket is down in a very defensive position.
Wow. That was fantastic.
4-7-2.
Hey, Mitch is clearly here to play. I mean, he's not afraid of Jack. And Jack is, it's really a testament to his discipline and dedication that he's accomplished so much, because he's a guy that everybody feels like they can get in the game against. He doesn't dominate you. He just breaks you down with his fitness, breaks you down with his shot selection, moves the ball around a lot. He's a very, very unique player, particularly in today's day and age when almost all of the young players, we see the Mitch Williams, the Shane Vandersons, the Alvaro Beltrans, they all come at you with so much power, so much intensity, and Jack really, you know, much more of a control player, much more of a defensive player than those players. So again, it's really a testament to what he's done with his style of play.
Mitch again lining up for a drive serve.
No.
Mitch fully extends a dive. Got the lead here in game one. We're going to take a little time out. Welcome back to the 2006 Choice Hotels U.S. Open Racquetball Championships. Jack Huczek, the #1 ranked player in the world, up serving to Mitch Williams. Ooh, bad skip. And a skip ball, again, for the rules of people who don't know this game, skip ball means you hit the ground before you hit the front wall. You'll hear us say that quite a bit. Sometimes very, very tough to see as it gets very close to the front wall, whether or not it's skipped or not. But Jason Thorner, being such a great referee, has to make all those calls by himself.
4-7-4.
It's a bad miss by Mitch Williams.
And again, I don't want to say you can, because everybody misses a couple of shots here and there, but it's very difficult, particularly when you're a prohibitive underdog, to give up free points like that and be able to win a match of this nature. And there he gets a little too defensive, hits it to the ceiling, and then gives Jack a setup.
White.
You know, it's a good example of a young player kind of struggling a little bit with himself. He skips a couple of shots, went for the right shot, just missed him, and then he had an offensive opportunity on Jack's Z-serve, which fell way short, and I think he may have pulled back a little too much, and Jack makes him pay. That was 2-bounce get.
6-4.
Boy, that is just a terrible call. Every year we're sitting here, there's always a blatantly missed call. It's a skip, it's a 2-bounce, and we talk about why the IRT Tour does not have some appeal process in place.
In the past, you've asked Dave Negretti, who's the IRT commissioner, and what has been his answer in the past, Aaron?
Yeah, I think his answer last year was, I'm hoping half joking. He said, Aaron, the reason we don't do it is because we wouldn't leave anything for you and Sean to talk about if we put the appeals back, since you guys seem to like beating up on us every year for not having appeals.
Well, it's just silly. If you just compare it to any other sport out there, tennis, I mean, basketball, anything, there's always more than one official.
Yeah. And hey, look, I'm understanding that unfortunately racquetball doesn't have the financial wherewithal to incorporate technology into the review process. So I'm not suggesting anything that elaborate. All I'm suggesting is a couple more human beings calling shorts, calling 2 bounces, however you want to structure it. There's a number of ways that you can use an appeal process, and I'm just disappointed that they don't seem to do it. And that's a good call. That's actually a very good call, despite Mitch's reaction.
Yeah, that's a tough situation for Mitch. And, you know, at this level, a racquetball can fly through the air close to 200 miles an hour. Very, very tough to see.
Yeah, no, and I don't discount that. I think Jason Thorner does a great job, but the best referee is going to miss some calls. It's so fast. Very unique part of racquetball is how close together the players play. You know, so it's just a very tough sport to ref.
It's almost like if a referee gets 80% of the calls, or let's say 85% of the calls, he had a successful time out there.
Yeah, he's doing good. And, you know, I'll almost put racquetball up there with basketball, NBA basketball, as far as difficulty of reffing. You know, a lot of discretionary calls, players very close to each other, a lot of contact, you know, a lot of speed, strength. I mean, it's just a very difficult game.
That's tough. Great hands.
To pick that ball off the floor like that, stretched out, and be able to control it down the line, very, very impressive.
5-7, a good first game here. Mitch Williams, Jack Huczek.
Great serve. Good angle. Good shot by Jack.
I like what Mitch is doing right now.
Hey, and Mitch he's got a ton of game. Yeah, I got to be honest, Sean, this is the first time I've seen Mitch play for this long a period of time. I'm very impressed. He plays aggressive. I like his mental attitude. Very, very focused. Good forehand, good backhand. He's got a lot of talent. Bad break there.
Mitch is playing great racquetball right now. He's had a couple bad calls, blatant bad calls that go against him. He kept his composure, did not argue with the referee, and look at him. He's here 6-7.
Great point. He's had a couple of bad calls. He's had a couple of very bad misses, and he's hung in there, and he's down 6-7.
Go 2-2-2. 7-6.
Guy's just hitting absolute missiles, Sean. Very confident, taking his shots, not forcing it, not getting frustrated with Jack's getting ability.
Shot.
That's phenomenal hands right there.
I mean, to cut that ball off like Jack did in the air, very tough angle. Control it to hit it down the line is a phenomenal shot.
Shot. Call the ball good.
Called that shot good. Side out. Mitch Williams up to serve 6-7.
Point.
Yes, great stuff from Mitch Williams. Leans back and hits just a super shot right in the left corner. That was incredible.
He's looking really good right now, Mitch. Came back from 4-7. He's at 7-7. He's serving well, moving well. Oh, boy. I think we put the jinx on him, Sean. That's a second long serve, but that's okay. When you hit the hard serve like Mitch, you accept the fact you're going to hit some shorts, hit some longs. I hope it doesn't discourage him from continuing to attack Jack, because clearly that's the style he's got to play to have any chance at all.
Yeah, you don't want to hit lob serves. Jack's proven many, many times that's not the serve to hit to Jack Huczek. You got to go after him, especially when you got a weapon like the forehand of Mitch Williams.
7, serving 7.
A skip ball. Mitch takes the lead.
8, serving 7.
You say surprisingly competitive.
You know, number 1 versus number 8. Anytime you got number 1 versus number 8, number 1's a heavy, heavy favorite here on the IRT Tour.
Oh.
Point.
Great serve. Mitch Williams with the lead, 9-7.
And Mitch looks very, very poised. We talked about earlier, he overcame a couple of tough calls, overcame a couple of very, very bad shots, went down 7-4, and now he's up 9-7, has scored 5 consecutive points.
Wow. 10 serving 7 over the number 1 player, Jack Huczek. Aaron, if you don't mind me mentioning the beginning of this match, do you know what I'm about to say?
I'm waiting on you, Sean. I'm waiting on you.
You didn't give Mitch a chance. I told you he's ready to play. And here we are. Game point. Mitch Williams wins game 1. We will be right back. Mitch Williams didn't have much of a chance to a lot of these people watching here. I said from the beginning, I feel like he's got some weapons that are a little different than some of the other up-and-coming players, and he showed that he can play with the best in the world.
Yeah, clearly, he came out very poised. It wasn't like he was playing out of the trees. Just went out, played his game, really controlled the tempo against Jack. Jack's going to have to slow him down. He's going to have to get on the offense a little bit, and he's going to have to get the ball over to Mitch's backhand because Mitch's forehand is absolutely devastating.
Aaron, I thought you made a phenomenal analogy between Cliff Swain, Kane Wazelenchuk, both being hard hitters, both being lefties, and you got a hard-hitting lefty. Yeah, you were very reserved about putting him in the same category, but the fact is he's got the same sort of weapons in the same category as those two players, and those are the kinds of players that Jack has trouble with.
And if Mitch wants to be thought of in a category of Cliff Swain and Kane Wazelenchuk, there's no better place for him to step up than right here, beating the number 1 player in the quarterfinals.
Well, right here's the time for Mitch Williams. Let's see if he can still bring the heat against Jack Huczek. We're going into game 2.
Time's in. This is game number 2. Mitch leads 1-0. Jack serving 0-0.
Oh, it's a bad ceiling ball. Yeah, that's a loose shot there by Mitch. Nothing to get too alarmed about. That's clearly not his game. He doesn't like going to the ceiling, but if he's going to go up there, he's got to do it a little softer, not put the ball off the back wall that far to give Jack a setup.
Bad miss by Mitch.
And again, you know, Jack is kind of a little younger, better version of Jason Mannino. He's not going to come out and run you off the court, but his game is going to be to frustrate you, dig a lot of balls, and serve in particular. He's going to try and get you to force some of those lob serves. Great get by Jack. Back wall again. Back wall setup again.
Oh! Just an amazing amount of pressure that Jack put on Mitch. And that's the game style of, like you mentioned, Jason Mannino, Jack Huczek. Just keep digging, defense all day until you put so much pressure on a player, on a shooter like Mitch Williams, that eventually he's going to miss.
That's a great shot.
4-0.
And that's the exact start Jack Huczek needed to get off to a 4-0 lead here.
And with that, Mitch is going to go outside and think this one over, as Jack Huczek is up in game 2, but down in the series, 1-0. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Jack Huczek up 4-0, game 2. Here's a lob serve to Mitch's backhand. Bad skip ball. Mitch very upset.
Yeah, and that's where Mitch made some mistakes in the first game. Jack was just on the defense so much, he never really got to exploit Mitch's backhand, but that's clearly his weaker stroke.
Hold it, replay.
Too many of those.
5-0.
It's a little chatter going on between the two players out there. Jack's not happy losing that first game. Mitch not happy that he's losing this game.
And Jack's frustrated. He's missing an awful lot of shots. You know, fortunately, he's up 5-0 in this game because he desperately needed to get into this match.
Replay. 0-5.
I can't believe Jack would even look for an avoidable on that, so I think he's comfortable with the hinder call.
Mitch yet to get a point on the board here, serving 0-5. That's a good serve. Here's a setup.
Hold it, replay.
It's a good call.
0-5.
It's great hustle by Jack. Now, I don't know how the crowd can do that one, Sean. That's clear as day.
And it looked like Mitch was upset about it, too.
Point. 1-5.
That's a good break there for Mitch. He did not hit a particularly good backhand. It pulled way off the back wall. Fortunately for him, it got stuck in the corner, left Jack Huczek with a very, very difficult shot. And then Mitch is working his way back into this game now. It's 2-5 in the second game.
That's tough hands right there.
Yeah, you can really see where that squash comes in handy there. Mitch did not hit a bad shot. Kind of hit it down the line that got behind Jack. Jack has those phenomenal wrists and was able to pull the ball cross court.
That's very, very tough because the serve was good.
Yeah. And again, we talked a lot about this last week with Andy's match against Rocky. Stepping over to cut that Z serve off before it gets into the third wall puts so much pressure on the server.
2 serving 5. Mitch Williams bringing the heat. It's a good get.
Right out. 5-2.
Jack Huczek been stuck on 5 here for a few different exchanges. Just missed that.
And there's that backhand, a little bit erratic. And if there's an area that, again, I'm really enjoying watching Mitch play for the first time here. If there's an area where I think he's got a little bit of work to do, it's on that consistency on the backhand side. That's not a good ceiling ball.
And Jack makes him pay for it. Yeah. Shot to the left corner.
And this is the, most typical weakness of a power player. They're so unaccustomed to going to the ceiling that when they play against a good control player like a Jack Huczek or a Jason Mannino, and they're forced to go to the ceiling, they have a tough time controlling that ceiling ball. Here's the setup.
Replay it. I thought you had room there, Jack.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Jason Thorner there.
I understand, but he was off to the side. I thought you could have taken that shot. He was off to the side. I'm just calling the hinder ball.
What do you think of that shot?
I thought it was a hinder as well. It was a good call by Jason Thorner.
Any chance you wouldn't have given him the hinder at all?
When they're that close and a player holds up, you kind of have to give them the safety hinder when they're that close. That's a well-played rally by Jack Huczek.
Yeah, that's student body left, student body right there. Moving the ball around, getting Mitch off balance, forcing him to hit into the back wall. And then after he got his perfect setup up front, Jack buried a forehand pinch. Fly kill in the right corner.
Good shot. Set up. 2-7-8.
A little bit of a mishit, and I think Mitch just needs to attack that serve. Even if Jack hits the lob well, I don't think it's good for the tempo, and I don't think it's good for Mitch's confidence to get into any ceiling ball rallies with Jack.
Set out.
Great shot there by Jack. And there Mitch was a little late getting out of the box. Jack was able to exploit that by hitting a pinch, moving the ball up front, sidewall front ball up front, while Mitch was still backing up to center court. No chance for him to recover in time.
Oh, wow. That was a great shot by Jack Huczek while diving, hit a perfect wide-angle pass.
They punched it hard enough that Mitch really had to step back, hit off his back foot. And here you see Mitch. This is where a young player really gets tested, how he's going to handle the adversity. We talk about it all the time, Sean. At this level, you're not going to win a match easily without some ups and downs. And, this is a rocky part of the match for Mitch. We'll see how he responds here. He's getting a little down on himself. Body language doesn't look really good. Can't let this game slip away too easily, or Jack's going to have all that momentum going into the third game.
Hold it, hold it. 3-7-9.
Again, even if he doesn't come back to win the game, which would certainly be a tall order against Jack Huczek, even if he just gets to 5 or 6, he slowed Jack down a little bit. He's worked his way in, and he's going to feel way better about himself coming out in the third game.
What a great rally and a good finish. Mitch very upset. It's a great kit. Wow, I like what Mitch Williams did there by taking some balls out of the air. We talked last week about Rocky Carson being an outdoor player and being very good at that. You see Mitch now cutting some balls off. Puts a lot of pressure on a player like Jack Huczek.
Yeah, and Jack's movement is unbelievable. I think it almost works against him sometimes. He's so confident that he's going to get to every ball. I think he has a tendency to play a little defensive.
Ball. 4-7-9.
That ball just barely caught the side wall towards the end of that serve. Put a lot of little spin on it. It was very tough for Jack to get his racket on it. 4-9. To your point, the momentum is so important right now. And just by Mitch scoring a few points really does make a huge difference going into Game 3.
Point.
Beautiful shot there by Jack.
10-7-4.
Great footwork, step back. For you amateurs watching at home, that was textbook racquetball. Racket back early, feet set, knees bent, pinch right in the right corner.
Now Jack with his first game point.
Seal and ball.
And he gets it. Game 2 goes to Jack Huczek. Now we are tied 1 game apiece. We'll be right back for Game 3.
Short ceiling ball.
Hold it. Replay it. 0-7-0.
Now that one, I thought Mitch had a way more persuasive argument that was unavoidable than the one Jack asked for in the last game. That ball was down the center of the court. Shot totally screened Mitch from having any opportunity to hit the ball. Back wall set up.
Timeout.
Boy, that did not look good. I don't know if he twisted his ankle or tripped on Jack's foot.
It looked like he got tangled up with Jack's feet.
Time's back in. Jack serving 1, serving 0.
That's a tough shot by Mitch Williams.
0, serving 1.
Yeah, Mitch really wants to come out strong in this game. You know, he clearly believes he belongs, but when you're the number 8 seed going against the number 1 seed, you don't want to fall too far behind. It has a tendency to wear on your head. Get inside your head and you start thinking, I put on a good showing, you know, not going my direction, I turned my ankle. A lot of bad, negative thoughts can start going through his mind if he falls behind this game.
And speaking of the ankle, he seems like he's moving around okay.
Hold it. Replay. Just a replay, Mitch.
Why can't I take a swing? When I take a swing, I hit it with my racket, Jason. Like this. Right there's where I hit it.
I thought it was a little higher than that where you're
It
taking.
doesn't matter, though. You can't just walk in front of a shot.
1, serving 0.
Mitch looking for the avoidable hinder. You know, anytime you hit your player or your opponent on the backswing, kind of an automatic thing, is it not, Aaron?
You know, I don't know. He's pretty deep in the court. The ball's high up. I'm a little concerned. Mitch seems to be looking for some free points here. It's about the 3rd or 4th avoidable he's asked for. You know, this is the big boys. He needs to get out there and play, block out the ref, say his piece, get on with it. But I don't like the way Mitch is handling the ref here. It looks like he's carrying it over to the next point. I mean, this is showtime.
To Mitch's defense, Mitch has been dealing with a lot of contact from Jack.
Hey, that's the game. That is the game, man.
He hasn't said a thing about it. And the bottom line is, you take away an offensive opportunity, that's an avoidable hinder.
Hey, Sean.
And that's a blatant call.
Sean. This is the big boys. They get contact. They move into each other's swings. They play very tight. They walk in front of the shots. You got to be able to deal with that. You're not going to get every call from the ref, but you can't go blow 2 or 3 points because you get what you think is a bad call from the ref at this level.
Okay. Kobe's driving the hole. Gets a slap on the wrist. Do you say, as a commentator in the NBA, do you say, oh, it's the big boys, let's just let it happen?
I don't say let it happen, but Kobe, I assume you're talking about Kobe Bryant here, not an IRT player named Kobe.
Right, exactly.
You know, you got to get over that as a pro.
I disagree. Rule's a rule, and they're there for a reason, and you make contact. That's a great shot.
But, Sean, we're talking about two different things. Whether the call was a good call or a bad call, to tell you the truth, I don't find particularly relevant. It's how the player responds after the call. So I don't feel that passionate that it was the right call. What I do feel passionate about, that if you're Mitch Williams and you want to play at this level and you want to play with the big boys, you've got to get over that call immediately. You can't skip 2 straight balls afterwards.
I agree with that. We've talked about that with Cliff Swain getting wrapped up in conversation. Jason Mannino screaming and yelling at the referee. You got to get through it. You got to put it all behind you because you're going to get bad calls. Definitely agree with that. Skip ball.
7-0.
A lot of mistakes out of Mitch. Mitch is going to go outside. I think this one over. He's down 7-0.
Hi, I'm Fran Davis. Today, let's cover court position. Court position is being the best position possible to cover your majority of the shots. Let's take a look at where court position really is. The court is 40 feet long. The short line cuts the court in half. That's 20 feet from the front wall. 80 to 90% of all balls end up in the back half of the court. The middle of the back half of the court, which is right here, this is what we're going to establish as center court. If you're in this position, you can reach 70% of the balls. They either come through that box, or with one step in a reach, you can get to a majority of those balls.
Welcome back. Jack Huczek with a huge lob. He's been hitting that all day. That's tough as nails. I love seeing that.
That's unbelievable. You know, I love the way Jack moves the ball around. He brings down that high backhand, brings it over to Mitch's forehand, which is a strength, anticipates Mitch's cross court, which Mitch hit very well, and hits a delicate pinch in the right corner. Set up off the back wall.
Got it.
0-7-8.
In this game, you know, ever since that first game, Jack's really turned this match around. And again, Mitch, mentally, I understand this is his first time in the spotlight, but he's got to regroup here, get it together again. He's probably not going to win this game, but he can't let it slip away 11-1 or 11-0, because then he'll be going into the third game with just absolutely zero momentum.
The fourth game.
The fourth game.
Right, but that's a great point. You touched on that earlier, where so important for Mitch not to give up and to keep cranking it out.
Set up. 0-7-8.
Because the confidence of Jack Huczek right now, he's up 8-0, and Mitch needs to get some points on the board in order for him to feel like he can go into this fourth game with a chance.
Hey, look, there's a reason why Jack's the #1 player in the world and Mitch is the #8 player in the world. Jack has a ton of confidence to work through these types of situations, and Mitch is still at that point in his career where he struggles working through the down parts of a match. Off the back wall. Oh, Jack goes back to the ceiling.
Set up.
Just a lot of misses now from, I mean, the head of Mitch Williams.
Yeah.
He's all over the place. The wild thing.
And the one thing, Jack, you know, he at times I think does get a little defensive, but the thing he never loses confidence in is his getting ability. It's amazing to me how well he covers the court. You know, as opposed to Jason Mannino, who's got phenomenal court coverage, but leaves his feet virtually 2-3 times a rally. Jack gets to everything on his feet, and it's relatively rare that he's got to dive to get a ball.
It's a good point, if you don't mind me saying.
I'm very unaccustomed to you saying, Sean, so I'm a little off balance.
Great shot by Mitch Williams. Let's see if he can get something going here. 0 serving 9. We are in game 3. Jack Huczek, Mitch Williams, both have a game apiece. This is the third game. This is the best in a series of 5. You got to win by 2, playing to 11. Mitch Williams bringing the heat. And a short serve.
9 serving 0.
The sign of a true champion is someone who can stay consistent throughout the entire match. There's a lot of players out there who can just have phenomenal first games. A lot of great players come out first game, but the phenomenal players, the champions, the legends of the game are those who will extend it and still play consistent throughout a 5-game match.
Hold it. 10 serving 0.
And again, this is not looking good for Mitch. You know, he put up no effort in this game, blew his cool a couple of times, made a lot of errors.
Side up. 0 serving 10.
You know, he's really going to have to get off the court, spend some time thinking, regrouping, and figure out what it's going to take to get back in this match in the 4th game.
And Jack has just been playing unbelievable in this 3rd game. He's got a 10-0 lead. Here he has game point. If he gets this next point, he's up 2 games to 1 going into the 4th game.
2 down. 2. 0 serving 10. Side out. 10 serving 0.
Another chance at game point for Jack Huczek. Wow, Mitch Williams not giving up. I love it. Great shot. Hits that from his shoulder. Looks like he could have let that drop a little bit, but still took it from very high and just smashed it. 0-10. Mitch Williams with a lob serve.
Well, it's a beautiful shot there by Jack. He moves the ball around so well. Mitch left his serve a little too close to the center, so he was leaning to the left to cover the open court. Jack felt that and pulled a beautiful misdirection cross court. Great flick by Jack.
Jack again. I think this is number 3 now. His chances to take game 3. 10 serving 0.
Jack just in total control here, cutting off balls, and then puts him out of his misery with an 11-0 on a rollout forehand pinch.
Jack leads the series 2 games to 1. We'll be right back.
This is game number 4. Jack leads 2 games to 1. 0 serving 0.
We're back here, game 4. 0 serve 0.
Point. 1 serving 0.
And Jack's controlling play, moving the ball around, forcing Mitch to flick up and hit defensive shots. Jack's really in total command of this match right now. Good shot there by Jack. Great get there by Jack. Another great get. That's off the back wall, pinch roll.
That's a good get. Oh, man, he was right there. He didn't launch, he didn't dive.
Yeah.
Seemed like that was a gettable ball.
I just think mentally, I'm trying to envision myself if I was Mitch in there. mentally, it's just going to wear you down. Jack just gets to everything. He doesn't look tired. You almost get to the point where you start thinking, what do I need to do to win a point?
Great get.
He's got Mitch so off balance. He's got him leaning one way, hitting the other way. He's getting to every ball. I mean, really, Jack has turned this into a clinic these last 3 games, just dominating play.
That's a tough shot.
Great shot there by Mitch, and you got to just, again, we talked a lot about it when Jason was playing Cliff. You just got to feel a lot of pressure when you got to hit that quality of shot. That was a phenomenal rollout forehand pinch just to side Jack out. He still has a big goose egg on the scoreboard.
I mean, Jack's got 14 points to his 0 right now. 14 unanswered points.
And throw another stat at you, Sean. Since the first game, where, again, we were giving Mitch a lot of props, Jack has outscored Mitch 25-4.
Replay.
Ooh, that's a bad call. Jack held up his stroke. Mitch had just dove, was trying to recover to get back to center. I think Jack held up just to demonstrate he would hit Mitch if he took a full swing. I'm a little surprised at that call. I think Jason might be a little off his game now, since this match has not been very riveting the last game and a half.
Yeah, that's just as obvious as it gets. That's almost the definition of the avoidable hinder.
But, Sean, to go back to the little debate we had earlier in this match, look at the difference between the way Jack responded to that call versus the way Mitch responded to a similar, probably less obvious call in the second game.
Exactly.
Point. 5-7-0. Out. 0-7-5.
Still 0-5. Mitch yet to score a point in these last 2 games, really.
Keeping their running total 27-4 since the first game.
Hold it, 2-2. Thought that was 2 there. 1-7-5.
You know, Mitch got a point there, but I think Jack got that ball.
I did too.
That was a bad call. And again, Jack just shakes it off, gets right back at it. And again, the last couple of years, I think we had some of these same observations, even criticisms for Jack, that he was letting the referee and getting to him a little too much.
Wow, that was so close.
Man. Back wall set up. Oh, Jack cut it off.
Good ball. 5-7-1.
Boy, that was a scary rally. Jack somehow ducked out of the way. I thought Mitch was going to take his head off with that forehand.
That was so close to a racket to the face. Dangerous out there. 5-1. We're in game 4. Jack leads the series 2-1. Lob serve to Mitch's forehand. It's a good get.
Oh, boy. Good get by Mitch. Set up for Jack. Just incredible.
Mitch stopped.
Hey, I think he's worn out. I mean, Jack is just running him to death.
We're going to take a timeout as Mitch has to go outside and get a breather after that long rally. The Choice Hotels US Open Racquetball Championships is brought to you by Choice Hotels International, family of hotel brands with over 5,000 locations and 8 different brands worldwide, offering every type of accommodation in every price range. We meet all your travel needs. For reservations, visit us at choicehotels.com today. Choice Hotels. We'll see you there. And by Wilson Art Flooring. If it's tough enough for pro racquetball, it's tough enough for your home. Enjoy the beauty and durability of Wilson Art Flooring. Available at fine floor covering centers everywhere. Also, Nuveen Investments, dedicated to helping you reach your goals in life. Ask your financial advisor today how Nuveen's growing range of equity and fixed income products can help you support your long-term plans.
And by USA Racquetball, your link to the greatest game on earth. To learn more about how racquetball can improve your quality of life, visit USARacquetball.com for all the details.
6-1, Jack Huczek pretty much dominating so far. That's tough. Mitch Williams.
176.
I think Jack is almost having a little too much fun. He's starting to toy with him a little too much.
Who else is tired watching me run around?
Now, Mitch asked the crowd there, who else is tired of watching me run around? And the one person who did not respond was Jack. Unbelievable.
Wow, what a great shot. Good rally. Both these players just showing their athleticism, just slugging it out, swinging as hard as they can.
And I know this match is well in hand for Jack, but I still think Jack has a tendency to rely too much on his getting ability and gets just a little too confident.
Point.
Good run here by Mitch. And again, it looks to me like Jack may have let up just a little, having, as I said, maybe a little too much fun. Mitch looked like he was out of the match, and now Mitch is pulling his way back in at 3-6.
Wow, it's a great shot.
476. Oh, short ball, short ball. 674. Hold it. Hit on top.
I don't know what Jack's upset with there. That clearly hit on top. And
That's a replay. 674.
Mitch with a big backhand, but a phenomenal kit by Jack. And hit his...
Side out. Side out. Backswing hinder there, Jack. I said that was backswing hinder, side out.
So that is what has been happening throughout this entire match. Finally gets his call.
Hey, you've been waiting for that. Throughout this entire match, it's happened a couple of times, and he got the call. Give it a rest, Sean. Give it a rest.
I mean, you just denying that from the beginning of the match.
Give it a rest. Get over it. Mitch has to get over it, Sean, and you got to get over it.
Call's a call, a rule's a rule. You got to make the calls out here. But, I mean, 6 serving 4. Waiting to see it happen again.
Hold it. That's a point.
That's terrible. He's reaching.
Are you happy?
Reaching.
Are you happy, Sean, that the ref Jason Thorner is now calling the avoidables as he should?
Just calling one avoidable after another. It's just I'm done talking. I might just stay quiet the rest of this match.
I doubt that, Sean, but we'll see.
That's a good point.
Oh.
Wow. Brought the heat. Brought the heat. I love Mitch Williams. I mean, I love it when he can set his feet and just thunder a forehand. That just shows you he's one of the hardest hitting players out here. And here we are deep into the match. And he brings it.
Now, Sean, I know we have this exchange at least once every year at the U.S. Open, but your bias towards the power players sometimes is so blatant. Jack Huczek, control player, great movement, not a power player. You're always against Jack, Sean.
Always against Jack.
Always against Jack. I had to hold you in your seat the last couple of years when he was having those great matches with Cliff in the semis.
Well, definitely rooting for Cliff as he's a legend of the game, just as I would root for Sampras. Mainly out of respect. Nothing against Jack. He's a good player. He's worked hard to get where he is.
Good player.
He's a good player.
Hasn't lost a match all season.
Has Kane been on tour this season?
Oh, man, I knew we were going to hit that spot at some point.
Hold it, replay. 8-4. Hold it down.
I will say this about game styles. I certainly do prefer to watch a slugfest out there rather than a control game. I do like watching Jason Mannino. He's in that category of a Jack Huczek. But it's 9-4. We're going to take a little break here. Mitch Williams, Jack Huczek. Welcome back to the 2006 Choice Hotels U.S. Open Racquetball Championships. Great shot. Jack playing really well. This is a good testament to the fitness of Jack Huczek. He's definitely the most fit on tour. He trains like an Olympian. It's unbelievable what he puts his body through. And this is a testament of what's going on. You can definitely see Mitch is tired. You can't see that on Jack Huczek.
Well, he's not. Jack is phenomenally fit. To your point, Sean trains very hard and plays a lot of squash, which is one of the most physically demanding sports out there.
Right out. 9-4.
Here we're at 9-4. Jack Huczek 2 points away from moving on to the semifinals.
Down, hold up, skip in.
Now here we are, Jack Huczek with match point. He wins this point.
10-4.
He moves on to the men's semifinals of the U.S. Open. One step closer to his dream of taking home the cup and U.S. Open title. Great shot.
Well, that was a missile. And that's the only way to hit a ball past Jack. You just got to hit a missile with a perfect angle.
Expecting another big serve here out of Mitch Williams. And just such a nice, poised, controlled forehand by Jack. And Mitch not ready to give it up yet.
No, players work their whole lives to get to the spotlight of the U.S. Open. They want to stay on the court as long as possible. That is an unbelievable shot.
Very squash-like. What's that called, a boast?
And it's called a boast in squash. And it's called a boast in racquetball, where it goes sidewall, front wall. Very rarely used in racquetball, but a very common shot in squash.
And there it is. Jack Huczek wins with an ace serve and moves on to the semifinals. For myself and Aaron Katz, another episode on the Tennis Channel in our coverage of the 2006 Choice Hotels US Open Racquetball Championship.